video going over a few problems that you will see on the celebration of knowledge. So the first one is a true-false, and it says each of these you're going to mark true or false. So some of the students were a little confused as we were going through them. Just trying to see here. Well, there we go. Two equivalent expressions always have the same value. That is true. Let's try this. Don't know why we're not working here. There we go. They do not always have the same variables. Variables are the letters, and they don't always have to have the same letters. Same constants. Constants are the numbers. They don't always have to have the same numbers. And they don't have an equal sign. An expression, in fact, never has an equal sign. If it had an equal sign, that would make an equation. An equal sign means that it's an equation. But if they are equivalent expressions, they will have the same value. Next question. Write an expression for the following. A number p. So instead of it saying like the number 6 or the number 5 or the number 2, a number p is just written as p. Decreased by means subtraction 6. Okay, so a number p decreased by 6, that's the answer. Next one. Which value for the variable n makes the value of this expression equal to 5? So 10n, and I want it to equal 5. So most kids will they'll think over here and they'll say, I could do 10 minus 5 equals 5. Or I could do 10 divided by 2 equals 5. So what I want you to get is that dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by 1/2. Okay, that's just an important concept I want you to get. So 10 times 1/2. So remember, two numbers separated by just parentheses and no signs mean multiply. Okay? So let's try a different problem. Let's say that what value of the variable n would make this expression, would make 10n equal to 100. So now you're saying 10 times what number is 100? And in this case, n equals 10, because 10 times 10 would be 100. Find the value of the expression below, x equals 5. This means that wherever you see the x, you are scribbling it out and you are putting a 5. So if I rewrite this, 5 squared minus 6 times the quantity of 5 minus 3. So 6 parentheses 5 minus 3 means 6 times the quantity of 5 minus 3. Now I can follow order of operations, which is grouping symbols, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So the first thing is my grouping symbols. 5 minus 3 becomes 2. Everything else remains the same. So I've done my grouping symbols. Next, I'm going to do my exponents. 5 squared is 25. Everything else stays the same. Next is multiplication or division. A number next to another number with parentheses means multiplication. So 6 times 2 is 12. And then 25 minus 12 is 13. So that is the answer to that problem. Write 2 equivalent expressions that demonstrate the commutative property. So the commutative property is the one that says you're only dealing with 2 items. So for instance, and it's multiplication, 5 times 7 is the same thing as 7 times 5. That is the commutative property of multiplication. Okay? Next one. Write 2 equivalent expressions that demonstrate the associative property. The associative property is our grouping property. So for instance, if I'm adding 2 plus 3 plus 4, if I group the 2 and the 3 first, 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 4, make it 9. Or if I grouped the 3 and the 4 first, 2 plus 7 is 9. It doesn't make a difference. And then the last one is the distributive property. So that's something like 2. So that's 2 times 9 is 18. But if I distributed 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 4 is 8. Okay? Now, these properties also work if we use letters. A, B, meaning A times B, is the same as B times A. Okay? Associative property of addition. A, B, C. A plus B in parentheses, then adding C, is the same as A plus B plus C. And for the distributive property, A, B plus C is the same as AB plus AC. So on your test, I think you're going to have to, you're given a problem and it just says which property is it, and I think it's multiple choice. So you do have notes on all of your properties. I would also use that, but here's some example of how you would write them. What are the like terms in the expression below? So one of your terms is 4x. That's an x term. One of your terms is positive 8. One of your terms is positive 6y. And one of your terms. So I would call this is an x term. This one has no variable. It is just a constant term. This is a y term because it has just a y. And this is a y term. So the like terms are 6y and 5y. Those are the two that are like. Okay? And I just want to make sure that you know what all of these words mean. I made a mistake. It is not the produce. It is the product. The product of a number. So you can use any letter. I'm going to use N. Product means multiplication. So 6 times N. But now that we are in algebra, it's 10 and then the letter N, okay? Quotient means division, 10, of a number and 10, so the number goes first, then 10, or N divided by 10. Difference of a number, so I'm going to use the letter N. Difference means subtraction, and sum means addition. So this was not a very long video, but it gave you the major points of things that you need to know for our test tomorrow.